All right, we're live.
Good morning. Good morning to all of you that are on our side of the world.
Yes.
And good afternoon to those of you that maybe you're on the East Coast or elsewhere joining us today. Thank you so much for being here with us. We're very excited to be here with all of you today.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm going to hide our camera so that's not distracting. But yeah, welcome. I'm Jen Moncluse.
And I'm Doris Barnes. And we're your sales trainers extraordinaire with Elite Worldwide. And we're excited to be able to be here with you today to bring you our online phone skills training.
So as a reminder, there's 3 series we're going to meet with you today. As you can tell, what we're going to tackle is understanding your callers and developing the right systems. That's going to be our focus today. And then we're going to have 2 following weeks, same place, same time for the next 2 consecutive Wednesdays to cover more.
Yep, so we have a 3-module course. We know you guys are going to enjoy and get a lot out of this.
So first off, before we get into the content, we just want to give a big thank you to our friends over at Jasper, Enzrins, and Transmissions. I know that they've brought in a lot of shops that have never worked with Elite before. So we're excited to have everyone on board, and we want to thank you, Jasper, for what you guys do for our industry.
Yes, yeah, you guys share the principles that we do. So thank you for all that you do, once again, in helping us put this on for everyone here.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So for those who are new, we'll just give you a brief intro. We're Elite Worldwide, and this is a little bit about who we are. We're a company that will never, ever put money ahead of people. And I know for a fact that you're going to see that weaved in through the next 3 weeks of our online course.
Yes, absolutely. And any of the training we do, we're always going to have messages of principles, as we really want to make sure that we're constantly elevating the industry and helping all of you to do the right thing for your customers. Right?
So people first, you'll see that little motto everywhere.
Absolutely, without question. Our course objective while we're here with you over these next 3 modules is going to be to help you to improve your phone skills so that you can increase your car accounts and your sales in the most professional and ethical way.
Yeah, so we're going to give you a bunch of different skill sets, some quick techniques and tips to apply over the phone with your customers. That's all going to happen within the next 3 weeks.
Yes. All right. So let's talk about what we're going to cover while we're all here together. We've got a number of different subject matters. And so today we're going to be getting into understanding your callers and developing the right systems. Okay, that's going to be topic of conversation. As we get into the next 2 modules, we're going to be then covering developing your phone skills, getting into some of the specific ways that you're going to say things to your customers. Jen and I will do a little role playing with you, dealing with difficult callers. How do you handle those really challenging price shoppers and callers that are giving you objections? Maybe they're not happy that day, right? We're going to help you through those things. Then we're going to get into some really powerful tips, little quick, easy takeaways that you can grab and apply, and that'll really help you day to day. And of course, we never do one of these where we miss ongoing skill development. What can you take away from this? What are your actionable items so that you can go back to the shop, go back to the counter, and really start to have some ways to apply and start to see results.
So we want you to stay sharp. So don't worry, all of these webinars are going to be recorded. So those are going to be sent to you every Wednesday night. We are Pacific time, so check your emails, and you guys can watch these for a handful of months over and over again. So that's going to be the objective for the next 3 weeks and our series modules.
Yes. How to best benefit. Ensure you're uninterrupted if you absolutely can. There's great benefit to being here live. We want you taking good notes. We want you asking questions. We'll get into that in a minute. But keep an open mind. You are here because you're here to learn, and you're here to ideally learn new things. Things that are different, things that are going to challenge you, things that are actually going to make you question if we're sane people over here in California. If, you know, that might work with your customers, Jen and Doris, but it's just not going to work with ours. You know, we're over here on the East Coast and people just behave differently. The thing is this is all based in principles. It's all based in people skills and psychology, and it will work for people in general. We're all kind of wired the same way.
Yes. So take tons of notes, as Doris mentioned. Literally just grab a piece of paper, start jotting this down, and we will provide a time frame. It's going to be at the end of every module series where we're going to do a Q&A, question and answer. All you need to do is you open up, you use the little orange button in your control panel. It's going to expand it, or it's going to tuck it away. There's a little area called questions, and we're going to open that up at the very end, and we're going to probably turn the camera off, but we're going to read your questions out loud and answer them live. Now, if we run out of time, you have my promise. I will be emailing you all our best practices or answers to whatever you're asking if we run out of time. So you will get your questions answered.
Yeah, we have to turn the camera up because we got to get super close to the screen to see your questions, and then you'll be way too close to us.
Yes.
So click that small orange button, and you guys should be good to go if you want to hide that and kind of get it out of the way for the content today.
So you can see us. We just can't see you right now. I know there's almost a
lot of you.
100 of you, I think, are over here.
Yeah, we have a great turnout.
So we're excited.
Yes.
And I'm ready if you're ready.
I'm ready. Let's do it.
Okay, so online phone skills training. Here we go, everyone. First things first, we want to talk about truly how to understand your callers. So let's go back to, kind of the fundamentals of this phone call, perhaps. I want to talk to you about people's minds, how they work, and how your callers are influenced. Let's start there.
That's perfect.
Okay.
All right, so before we get into any of this, the first and most important thing that we all need you to really understand, not only understand, but start to apply, is people make emotional buying decisions. And if we don't constantly remember that and constantly work at affecting people on an emotional level, we're going to struggle, especially over the phone. So we'll get into why that is, and why phones, you really need to influence people emotionally.
Yes. So bottom line, they're not making logical decisions. I really want this to connect with you. They're making decisions based off how they feel. So if you can get these callers feeling good, we know that happy people buy. Happy people will buy into the idea of setting an appointment. They'll buy into the idea of saying yes to your recommendations. But bottom line, you got to emotionally impact them, like Doris said, and it's got to be positive. Because we know that they're going to make a decision based off of how they feel.
And they have to buy you first.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that.
So not to make this a marketing course, but we kind of want to tie this in. We really want this to resonate. We have a few examples of how we're influenced emotionally when it comes to making a buying decision. So if you're looking at this ad, this is an old school ad. It's a cigarette brand, Marlboro. Some people here might not be familiar with that anymore.
Right.
And when you look at this ad, I want to be clear that you're not making a decision here based on logic. You're actually being influenced by emotions and how this ad or this marketing that we're looking at right now, example, makes you feel. So we want to kind of dissect this with you.
Yeah, we really do. Look at all the emotions. If you just sit back and go, what emotions would I feel if I was in rush hour traffic and I was passing this ad day in and day out? It's a billboard, right? And you, like, guys especially look up this and they get a sense of longing for maybe that kind of life. They're stuck in rush hour. It's been a stressful day. There's a lot done here intentionally to influence you emotionally. He's in control. He's got the reins. He's a good looking, handsome, fit man. He's got the horse, the sport of kings, signifying power. You've got the open spaces and freedom. Like, you look at this and you go, oh, all little boys grew up back in the day and wanted to be a cowboy. That was just so cool, right? So there's a lot going on here, and they're making you feel a very powerful emotion of a sense, kind of longing for this. So every time you see that, you feel these emotions, and with enough repetition, it causes you to want to reach out and grab that cigarette pack when you're at the convenience store. As soon as you see that name Marlboro, those emotions come back to the top. You don't even realize it's happening to you, that they do. So every great marketing ad, they're selling you. That's what this is. It's sales. It's these companies selling the public on them. You have to sell, and you have to do it where you're impacting people emotionally. These are not stupid people.
Yeah.
We're talking about companies with billion-dollar ad budgets here, right? They know what they're doing.
So let's take it into our world. Read this ad real quick. It came in 17 colors, all of them red, white, and blue. This is actually not an ad about cars. What are they playing on here emotion-wise? What are you guys and gals thinking? Red, white, and blue. Old school nostalgia, patriotism, right? America.
American, right?
Yeah.
By American. Yeah, they're making you feel one of the most powerful emotions for all of us Americans, and that's patriotism when you look at this ad. So yes, I'm gonna buy a Chevrolet, right?
Nostalgic there. And look what this industry is doing. They are geniuses. I think the automotive industry is very similar to the insurance industry. Why? Because no one wants to buy either.
Right. Yeah, they just don't. It's a reality we have to face. And so for that reason, Jen and I will always argue that as a service advisor, that's what makes your role so critical and challenging. And so you really have to be the best at what you do. You have to be the best at influencing your customers on an emotional level and the best at sales. So we have to do, the end of the day, we need your customers feeling good when they speak to you on the phone. That first impression and the whole experience, you've got to keep them feeling good.
Yeah, just like Geico. Just like Geico. Yeah. Look at how funny their commercials are, and we all smile when we see this. We need your customers doing the same thing, or your callers doing the same thing when they think of Elite Auto Repair, whatever your brand name is.
Yeah, so if I answer the phone and I say, Elite Auto Repair, this is Doris, how can I help you? Like, whatever, I might be having an okay day. I don't really sound that fun or happy. So we're gonna show you what you need to do here. Okay?
Yeah. So first things first, people make emotional buying decisions. Always remember that. Now, the next thing we want you to be aware of is when this call comes in and you pick it up, man, that caller needs to buy you. You have to understand that. And, you're going to do things like have the proper enthusiasm, tonality, greeting. You're going to use names. We're going to get into that in greater detail, but they got to buy you. If they don't like you off of the bat, good luck, my friends. So once they've bought you, you're in a better position, but we also want you to realize that their anxiety levels are typically high. Think about it. It's a new caller. They've never done business with you. Most of the time they think like this when it comes to auto repair. So your main job is to lower that anxiety, right?
Absolutely. So how are we going to manage the anxiety over the phone? Let's get into it.
Yeah. Now we're going to talk first about tonality, but please make sure you jot this down. Your tonality will have the greatest impact on the caller, the greatest impact. So we're going to give you some studies that back this up.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Okay. So this is a report on sensory input from UCLA. And pretty bright people over there. And this is just demonstrating through which, when information comes at us and we process it through our senses, what percentage of it is processed through each sense, right? And as we can see here, overwhelmingly, it's visual. 75% of what we bring in and process is through visual senses. 13% is audible, 6 taste, 6 touch, 3 taste, and 3 smell. So when we're on the phone, what we don't have is what? The biggest influencer. You just don't. Unless you're FaceTiming every customer that calls, which we know
that's not
you're
happening.
not, right? So you've really got to play on the audible impact that you're going to have on this customer. And as Jen said, your tonality. Tonality is just, what is tonality?
Tonality is the way you say things. It actually depicts emotion through your voice. So some people don't have the best tonality. They're very monotone, right? You don't get any feelings from them. You don't get a sense of confidence. You don't get a sense of enthusiasm or that they even like you. We don't want you to have monotone tonality, like kind of in the dumps, Debbie Downer, that kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah, or just emotionless, even at that. So 50, this is the same study group. It's also UCLA, but this is specific now to what influences a sale. So when you're in a buying and selling environment, which each of you are every day, how is this customer going to be influenced to believe in you, which means to buy from you and to set that appointment? 55 is through visual input, which we don't have. 30, I mean, your website, all these other things are going to influence them. If they look some Google reviews, some of that visual stuff will help. But inevitably, when they call you, that 38%, that tonality is really what's going to sell them and cause them to want to either come in or not come in and see you. It's only 7% of the words, which when Jen and I first saw this, we were absolutely shocked that it was that low. We couldn't believe it. But this is the reality. These are the studies, and this is what it shows, right?
Yeah. So the sale for most first-time callers is the appointment, right? So you got to use the proper tonality. You got to get these customers feeling good. And the way that you're going to influence them is through how you say things through your tone, all right? It's not the exact verbiage you use, which is mind-blowing. Absolutely mind-blowing.
Sure is.
So take this one to heart. It's certainly going to help you. You need to record your calls to figure out, how am I sounding?
How do you sound? Do I like you when you pick up the phone? Right?
Right.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit more about understanding our callers. And I think it's important that we have this conversation because a lot of us will get a little bit jaded about that caller that continues to, the people that call in and they say, hey, I just need to get a price. I need a price on a transmission replacement. And you go, here we go again.
Yeah.
We got another price shopper and all they want, these aren't our customers, these price shoppers. Whoa, whoa, whoa. We got to understand this. When the reason so many people call and ask for a price is because they don't know what else to ask you. It's a conversation starter. That's it. They don't know that they should be asking you what kind of warranty it comes with and how your technicians do the diagnosis and what kind of qualifications your people have. And they don't know this stuff. That's your job to bring that out of them. Right?
So let's not prejudge. That's what Doris is saying. Let's give everyone the benefit of the doubt. We're going to take them through our standard kind of phone procedure or protocol to help them understand that, you know, price isn't the ultimate thing that they should be making a decision on. We'll get into that later, but we just want you to realize that this is just, like she said, a conversation starter.
This is just mindset right now. This is how we need to be thinking about every one of these calls we answer, guys. Next, it says people do not make decisions based on price and price alone. Is it going to be a factor? Of course it is. It will always be a factor. Customer panels and such that we've done over the years have shown that a customer will pay about 20% more if they like you and trust you, and they won't leave and go to your competition. So it's always going to be a factor, but when you have somebody calling around and they're anxious, they're going to grab on to the people that they feel the most comfortable with. You want to make a bet? They don't want a bad automotive repair experience again, right? And so you guys have the ability to change that. They're going to take a lot of other things into consideration other than price: time, convenience, ease of experience, the peace of mind that they feel when they speak to you. Do they feel comfortable? Do they like you? Are you the kind of person that they feel that they would want to do business with? Notice I said feel.
So you have to educate them. They might not even know those things that Doris just listed off. They might not even know to, you know, try to figure out who's going to provide the best quality job in town. So this is ultimately up to you. So when they're calling in for just price and price alone, that's logical. And as we've established, people don't make logical purchasing decisions.
They're not logical.
They're emotional. So we have to take into consideration there's so many other things to educate them on the phone beyond price and why they should choose you. So she just mentioned the experience, the people working on the car, the fact that they get you, guys and gals. They can't get you anywhere else. So you have to help them understand that.
If they like you, that holds a lot of weight.
Yeah. So let's move along. I'm going to give you guys some more tips on let's reduce that anxiety. That's the number one emotion that they're feeling on the phone.
That's our number one most important job. So let's have a good conversation about all the specific things we can do to do just that. Slow down when you pick up the phone. We know you guys are running around, you're doing a million different things as service advisors. We understand your role, trust me, we do. So you just got to really get into the habit of this habits. You got to create habits. Slow down right before you answer the phone. Take a deep breath, get in the right state of mind, and smile. And every one of you's heard this before. We're going to dive deeper. But when you smile, people can, what do they say? Hear it through the phone, right? Well, yeah, it's going to influence your tonality. That's what it's going to do.
So don't be transactional. That's what we're asking. We want this to be a relationship building kind of conversation, more relational versus transactional, where it's very rigid, it's very cut and dry, it's not warm and fuzzy. That's what we mean by the first bullet point.
Yeah. So this person might ask me for a price, but you know what? It's an awesome conversation starter. They just don't know what to ask me right now. So what we want to do is we want to convert the call from one between advisor and caller to one between Doris and Jen.
Yep.
So we're going to use the caller's name, which is leading into our next one here. It says, answer every call with a greeting that identifies you and your shop by name and ends with a question, not a statement. So you want to give them your name first. This is the start of this relationship we want to build, and taking it from customer and advisor, or caller and advisor, to people that know one another's names.
Yeah, so I would answer the phone. Thank you for calling Elite Auto Repair. This is Jen. How can I help you? By the way, my name's Jen, or however you want to give it. Give your name so they want to reciprocate. So you want to get it to Jen, the advisor, Doris, the caller. And once you get your caller's name, guys, use it a lot. That's going to make it less transactional, right?
Yep, absolutely. And it says it ends with a question, not a statement. Some trainers out there will tell you to say, I can help you, but we want to do it with a question at the end. Anybody have any idea why? We can't really hear you. So, but the reason is because you want to get them talking. And you want to hear what's important to them, right? You want them talking. It's interesting, and I think we're actually going to get into this now.
Yeah.
We'll wait on that. So there's a reason. Oh, is that what it is? Okay, yeah.
Listen intently.
So listen intently to what your callers say. When they talk, their anxiety level will drop. That's why we want to get them talking. They'll begin to like you. They'll start to feel more comfortable, and you'll learn about what's important to them.
So if you're that person who takes a deep breath, answers the phone, and just talks at them, a monologue versus a dialogue, you're hurting yourself. So ironically enough, the more people talk about themselves, the more they talk about their issues, the better you listen, the more they're going to like you. It's kind of funny how that works.
Dale Carnegie 101.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The next point here, when asked for a price, be prepared to reduce their anxiety even further. Yeah, I'll be more than happy to help. All I need to do is just get a little bit more information from you, Jen. You said it's a 2002 Camry? So the very first thing we're going to do is we're going to say, I'm more than happy to help, just need to get a little more information. That line right there, those couple sentences are gold for you guys.
Yes. What the caller's hearing is, yeah, I can help you with the price. All I'll need is a little more information. So now they're hearing with it, you giving them an upbeat tonality, sure, we can help. And now you're going to start to take control of the conversation here. You need to get more information before you can get them a price. That's what we call deaf earing. So it's professional. If it's done with the right tonality, you're fine. No one's going to think twice about it.
Professionally deaf ear the first price question, right? They don't know what else to ask. Okay, so we're into the systems now, as you guys can see. What are these systems you have to use? It says a clear understanding. You need to have a clear understanding of your company's mission statement, for those of you that have mission statements, and why your shop's the best choice. Because again, when these people are searching for the right place, they think they're just calling around for the best price, but you're going to help them see otherwise. And a lot of these things are going to have incredible weight on your customers.
So when they're calling around, because you know they're doing some shopping, you've got to educate them and say something on the phone that really impresses them, that literally stops them in their tracks and say, wow, I want to give these people a shot. So what's going to emotionally impact them are things like your mission statement. If you don't know what your company mission statement is or why your shop is the best choice out of everyone in the area, you have some homework to do. So talk to management, figure out what really uniquely sets you apart. I can promise you it's not your warranty, and it's not the fact that you have certified techs or shuttle cars. Most good shops have that in your town. Good is not good enough nowadays.
Yeah, you've really got to dig deeper. You've got to look for these confidence building messages. Talk about your positive reputation, online reviews, things you do in the community to give back, associations with trusted brands, longevity, and a bit about the owners and the reason they're doing what they're doing to help people. You know, there's so many ways. Talk about yourself and what you're there to do to give personal service.
Yeah. Ethics, what you guys live by, how you're very transparent, AKA you're very clear. A lot of people think auto repair, you know, oh, we have a negative battle we have to fight. So those confident building messages are going to emotionally impact your customers, therefore influence these callers or these customers to set the appointment or come on in, see you, maybe get some testing done, whatever the scenario requires.
Paint a picture of the ease of experience there. Hopefully we can get you quickly in and out of here. You know, for all we know, it might be something really simple and easy to fix. The other day we had somebody come in with a check engine light and zip, they were done in like 15 minutes. So who knows, right? Those are a lot of things you can say, and that's what people really want to hear.
Now, some other tips. You need to be very familiar with your website and all current promotions. One thing regarding your website, your company, your management team has probably put their mission statement on there. They probably have seasonal ads. They probably have really unique benefits and features relative to your brand. If I were you, I would just do some general homework and always have a pulse on what you guys are putting out there to the industry relative to current promotions or whatever you guys are promoting. So make sure you don't sound uneducated when that caller comes in and they start mentioning stuff that they're rattling off your website.
Yeah, absolutely. Good tip. Next, you need to have an adequate number of phone lines with professionally created on-hold messages. Again, it depends on the size of your facility as to where you need to land with that. This is a conversation for management, but nevertheless, we need to make it. Studies have shown that people will only sit on hold for what, like 17 seconds?
17, 18 seconds, that's it.
Without getting incredibly aggravated or hanging up on you. And so, yeah, the argument is you really don't know if you've got a first-time caller on the other end of the line or a salesperson that you don't want to have anything to do with. But at the end of the day, if you are just, thanks for calling Elite, would you mind holding, please? Without even having a conversation with this person, even if it's brief, you're potentially alienating a first-time customer and you haven't even had a chance to try to win them over yet.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully they're still there when you get back to.
Hopefully, probably not.
Yeah. So make sure that you talk to management about the phone lines, and we all have professionally greeted on-hold messages. I'm currently working with a shop that has a really quirky on-hold message with a British guy. They're located here, and it's funny. It gets these people on hold laughing, feeling good. So it might be something you want to look into.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a great idea for your own learning purposes and also for other management reasons to have call recording services, to be able to have your calls recorded so that, and making sure that they meet with all legal requirements. Different states have different laws. It's the only reason we're bringing that up to you. For example, in the state of California, you're not allowed to record another party unless they're aware of it first. So you might have heard these calls will be recorded for training and whatever purposes, right?
Yeah.
So listen to yourselves though, right? That's the whole point.
That's
here.
the whole point of this. After this course, I'm hoping everyone takes the time to listen to a couple of inbound calls a day to assess and audit yourself. What are the patterns that aren't working well for you? And what are you currently doing that you can build upon that's working really well? So this is going to be critical to your success.
How do you sound, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Number 6, printed phone scripts. You need to have these. You need to have an internalized process. You don't want to sound robotic, but you need to have certain steps that you follow. And in our advanced training, we help our students really develop these. And you need to have lead tracking forms. Okay, so you need to keep track of the first time callers that call in and which ones, how many of them schedule appointments and how many of them do you lose? How many leads are we losing? When we know that, of course, then we can work on getting better at what we're doing. Mm-hmm. So it's really important. Your company spends a fortune to market and bring these new people, causing them to want to pick up the phone and call in the first place. And if we're not tracking this, and if we're not working really hard in this position to get really good at this, you're wasting a fortune.
Yep.
So,
and phone scripts are going to make sure you're consistent on the phone.
Right.
Your messaging is what it should be. You're not getting off track. If you do get off track, you know how to jump right back off where you left off. If you don't have an internal phone script designed, you guys are just shooting from the hip.
Yeah, not a good idea.
Not a good idea. So make sure you talk to your team about that. We also want you to have a clear policy regarding who is to answer the phone and when. So talk to your team. I mean, if there's high peak, high volume times where your phone's ringing off the hook and you've got walk-ins and it's just chaos, we really should have a policy regarding, okay, after ring 4 or 5, clearly the advisor can't grab it. What's that going to roll over to, or whom's going to be the person to at least take a message so that call just doesn't disappear?
Exactly. Yes. Good meetings to have. Okay. Voice recorders. You know, we talked about internal phone call recording systems, but if that's not available to you, or even just when it is, you still need to have your own voice recorders that you use. You can just hit record before you pick up the phone or when you're making a sale, and you can go back and you can listen to your side of it. And if you listen that day or even a day later, you're still going to know kind of what was said on the other end of the phone because you were there, right? Listen, learn, pay attention to your tonality and how you're perceived, and do role play sessions. You know, partner up with your peers, your fellow advisor or manager or somebody that you work with. You know, get involved in training where you can do role play sessions and really devote time and attention to getting good at this stuff. It's not going to happen just, you know, on accident, right? We really have to work at anything we want to be really gifted at.
Focus and attention. So voice recorders, you can pick those up at an electronics store, online. If you don't want to spend the money on that, then use your phone. Every smartphone right now has an ability to record conversations.
Yeah.
So I would definitely look into that.
Absolutely. Okay. We're into systems here, guys. Remember, we told you we're going to spend a chunk of time on this today. You need to have a clear understanding as to what your responsibilities are. So after you meet with management, you guys start to work these things through. If you realize, oh, hey, we're missing that system, or we could do a better job at this system, figure out what are the responsibilities that I have as a team member. You know, that's part of this, but your responsibilities to your customers are to make sure that they never know that you're having a down day. You sort of have to put on your acting cap a little bit sometimes if you're having a bad day, or you just got beat up by a customer right before you picked up that phone, right? That's why we tell you, smile and take a deep breath and just relax. Just try to really get in the right state of mind and talk to yourself about those price shoppers. It's just a conversation starter.
So bottom line, figure out what your responsibilities are with the phone and what are the end results. So I know we've got folks here that are shop foremans, the majority of you are service advisors, but we also have some front office support, even some shop owners here today. So talk to your team about the end result with phones and who's responsible for what.
Yes. Okay. Last step here. You have to have the elite sales cycle committed to memory. because anytime you're engaging a customer, the sales cycle is just about bringing clear communication to the forefront, okay? When you're on the phones and you're taking these first-time callers, you are following the sales cycle. You just don't necessarily realize it if you're not conscious of what a sales cycle is. So we're just gonna initially introduce you to this. If this is a new concept to you, we get it, don't worry. We're gonna spend more time on it on the next couple modules as well. This is what you need to follow anytime you're selling, guys, anytime. I'll let Jen talk about this.
Okay, so remember how we talked about a phone script or a phone protocol? Whatever you have in place, and if you don't have anything in place, please pay attention, because I'm gonna hope that your phone script internally follows the sales cycle. All this is a procedure for you to follow when you're live on the phone. If you're not following a procedure, you're not gonna be effective and clear with your communication. I mean, doctors follow procedures, your technicians follow procedures, why shouldn't you?
Yeah,
right?
We all should,
Absolutely.
especially in a professional environment.
So here's the 8 steps of our sales cycle. Now, you would convert this into the appointment being the sale. So let me just kind of walk you through it. All these steps are built by design. They're in order. We don't want to mishmash. This is exactly how it should be executed. But when the call comes in and you answer, your first step is going to be building rapport. That greeting, that enthusiasm, that tonality, the way that you make this caller feel like a priority, the way you use their name repetitiously, this is going to help them like you. You're going to make it less transactional, and this is how you're going to build rapport. Maybe if you really have the time or you're good, you could start asking them more about how their day's going, and we can start to kind of ask some personal questions if that time allows. Then you're going to want to be a really great detective. Once they like you and you've built some rapport, then they'll be more inclined to open up and answer your questions. So you're going to want to ask at least 5 questions as to why they suspect they need a
whatever it is that they are calling in about.
Right? You got to be prepared with those questions. You got to get them talking. You got to get them thinking out loud. So once you've identified some of those questions, they've given you the answer. Now you're going to be able to know what the caller's true needs and concerns are. They might have concerns that the car has a leak. They might have needs that they need the car back by tomorrow, no later than noon, because they're taking their kids on a field trip, whatever that may be. Identify those out loud with them. And once you have those, you can then provide the proper solution. Maybe they need some form of testing or diagnostics. Maybe they just need a general multi-point inspection. Whatever it is, that's where you're going to identify the solution.
Maybe they need alternative transportation.
Yeah. So we'll figure that out, and then you're going to build interest and value in said solution. See how this all kind of makes sense, and each step follows the one before it. But this is where you're going to get them interested and excited, because you're going to talk about the benefits of that particular solution. If it's an inspection, what's in it for this caller to come and get their car inspected? How do they win? That's where you're going to spend some time there.
That's right.
Once you've built interest and value, that's where you ask for the sale. So in this case, that's the appointment. You've got to ask for the appointment.
Yes, that's your sale here, guys. Then you're going to close the sale. They've said yes to you. If there's any sort of an objection or they have questions before they say yes, you can handle those. Closing the sale just means you got to confirm the appointment. You got to confirm where you're located. Just kind of go over that. Let them know to come in and see you and ask for you when you get there, that you'll be the one to help them. You're really looking forward to meeting them. And then resell the service, right?
Yeah.
Resell them on their decision. You know what? You're going to be absolutely pleased. You're going to love it here at Elite Auto. And I'm really looking forward to meeting you. I'll see you at 2 o'clock.
This is going to make the conversation less transactional. And I've heard advisors do this. I've role played it millions of times with advisors in our advanced class. It takes a couple of minutes, and it's well worth investing that time there so they actually show up. There's nothing worse
we want them to show up
than just praying that they're going to show and they're a no-show. So this is going to help make sure that that takes place.
Yeah. Well said, Jen. All right, you guys. So we want to answer questions for you. This is about you, not us. We want to help you with anything pertaining to today's subject matter. We did turn the camera off so you're not staring at our noses when we get too close to this screen here. And we're opening our question panel. So please type, and let's see what we can do to help these guys, Jen.
Okay, so we've got a question that reads, and forgive me, I'm reading this word for word. How do you put someone on hold quick enough when you're with a customer in person without potentially alienating that first-time caller. Wondering how to create the balance between the relationship on the phone and the customer in front of me. Really great question. That is a fine art, isn't it, everyone? So I know that you guys are in that position in the mornings, probably around lunch, towards the afternoon, and that is difficult. So Connor, more reason to have a firm system in place during those high volume times. You know, we want to make sure you've got backup in a perfect scenario. Because when you're with that customer face to face, man, do they want to feel like a priority, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You really need to be very, very conscious of this. Now, if you have a call to pick up, if you're getting constant calls while you're standing in front of a customer, we know you can't keep picking up the phone. Otherwise, you're never going to get to help this customer. But lucky you that you're so busy, right? So this is something management needs to work with you to solve. Now, if you just get one and you've got a customer standing there and you say, oh, you know what, I just have to really quickly, I'm going to grab this, but I'm not going to stay on. I'm going to just ask if they can wait a moment. The first thing you have to do, Connor, is you have to at least let them tell you why they're calling. What if they just say, what time do you close? And you can answer it really quickly and get off the phone without putting them on hold. Now, if you're able to get them to tell you, oh, hey, you know, I just want to get a price on something. Oh, would you mind if I just take your number and call you right back? I just have to wrap up with a customer in front of me. That's the best way to do that if you can. But in a perfect world, like Jen said, you've got backup for phones with your team.
So yeah, Dan, in a perfect world, yeah, you're gonna have to call that caller back if you're currently with a walk-in. Dan kind of piggybacked on what Connor's saying. So remember, the caller and the face-to-face customer, they want to feel like they're your main priority. So however you can spin that in front of them or on the phone where they feel like, you know, they are important and you'll be right with them. You got to use the right tonality. I would also apologize, you know, just say, oh, you know, we're a little busy here. I'm currently taking care of a customer. I would love to help you. My name is Jen. You know, can I get your contact information? When would be the best time to call you back? Or maybe you know you're going to be available in 5 minutes. Make them feel, you know, that you guys really care.
Yeah, absolutely. In a perfect world, we're not having to interrupt the customer, the experience when they're there either, but we know that there are times you're going to have to. You may be short-staffed. You may really be the only one there that has to manage everybody. And so this is something that you just have to meet with management about. We have another one here. Josh says, my biggest obstacle is availability. Sometimes it can be 3 to 4 weeks out. How do I overcome that objection? Josh, that's a tough one. It sounds like your company's got a ton of room to grow. So you guys are doing a lot of things really, really well. We might be able to help you with that. No, but seriously, you know, how do you manage that if you're 3 to 4 weeks out? You know, I think the best thing we can do is, and we need to obviously leave wiggle room in our schedules amongst appointments for emergencies, people that we absolutely have to get in, or bring them in and just get them in alternative transportation, get them in a rental car. Your company may need to absorb that cost. Also too, when you have first time callers or first time walk-ins, you really want to try to make time for these folks, because first time, if they're not impressed, they're not coming back, and you need to earn them as a customer. So these are delicate systems. It's something, again, you need to meet with management about, but those should be 2 really helpful tips to help you there. If there are efficiencies that we need to work on in the shop, they can help you get more cars out. That's a whole nother subject.
Yeah, and everyone needs reasoning, Josh. So do what you can to just kind of build up your brand. Let them know that you really appreciate their patience. You know, everyone in town's kind of seeing you because you're the trustworthy shop. So, you know, whatever you can do to alleviate that anxiety and frustration is going to be huge. But it's kind of they have a good problem.
It's a good problem to have.
Yeah.
Time to grow.
Yeah, you're welcome. Okay, so Ryan is asking, does Elite provide examples of phone scripts we can use to create our own? Actually, we do, Ryan.
We do.
Next couple of modules, we're going to actually role play one of the phone scripts that we give to our advisors. But just food for thought, Ryan, we have an advanced class that's 6 months long. We spend an entire month with the advisors in that class just on phones. So I've got scripts, I've got audio files, I've got tons of tools that we give to those folks in the master's class. But don't worry, for this particular service, Doris and I are going to role play some scripts for you. We're going to break it away so you're going to understand what that kind of sounds like over the phone.
And Ryan, if I'm not mistaken, you can talk to your coach about this. because, and I believe, yeah, you can talk to your coach and we might be able to get you access to the phone scripts that we have.
Oh, okay, that's perfect. Yeah, if any of you guys are coaching clients of ours or pro service members, you have contacts here that most likely that's either been given to management already, or we could get that to you quite quickly.
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely. All right, awesome.
Well, we're at that
We
time.
are.
Any more questions? I think we've answered everyone's. I don't, Gary, hopefully the audio is working for you, but I don't see any other questions other than Henry saying hi. Hey, Henry.
All right. All right, you guys, so we still have some things to share. Don't leave yet.
Yes.
We're going to talk about our actionable items.
Okay, so let me get my camera back on so we can say our farewells and give you guys some next steps.
All right. Session 1 assignments, guys. Here's how you're going to apply. Create your phone greeting and continue to practice it until it's internalized. What are you going to say? How do you want to sound? Role play it with your team, record yourselves. Okay, really important.
Number 1 assignment. Then if you really want to get good at getting people to just immediately like you off the bat, simplistic ways to apply easy things over the phone or in person with your clients, then I would pick up the book, Dale Carnegie, How to Win Friends and Influence People. Hands down, the number 1 book that I would have anyone in an influencing role, which this is what you're doing. You're influencing these folks to come in the door. You're influencing them to say yes to your recommendations. Pick up this book. I read it in a day. I found it very entertaining. It's very simple ways to get people to naturally be drawn to you. Easy things you can apply with customers, family, friends, loved ones.
Everybody in your life.
Yeah.
How to make people like you in a very short period of time. That's what you got to do here, right? Over the phone. Yeah, this is golden.
Buy it online. You can get a used book for a couple of bucks.
Yeah,
I mean,
go
there's
on
audio
Amazon
files,
and get a used version of this today.
We like the book.
We're challenging you.
Physically get the book.
Read it within the next 4 weeks at the most. Okay. Jen read this in a day when she started working with us. And then next it says continue to practice and record your phone greeting with emphasis on your tonality.
Yeah.
So role play, role play, role play.
Yeah, that tonality, listen to yourself. I mean, after you listen to it and you say, oh man, I wouldn't buy from me, then, now we know that there's room for improvement.
Right.
And like Dora said earlier, if you're having a crummy day, or maybe you've just got the bug floating around and you're just not on point, I am A-okay with you just maybe putting your actor's cap on and
fake it
a little bit, just for the reason to help your customers relax, have these callers just take a deep breath and like you. All right. But obviously the more genuine and authentic you are, the more powerful it will be.
Yeah. And become familiar with the elite sales cycle. Okay. This is absolutely critical to your success in your roles as service advisors. You've got to internalize this, because not only are you going to be using it every time you pick up the phone with a first time caller, you're going to be using it every single time you engage your customers. And we get really deep into in our more advanced training with how this applies to every part of what you do through the customer engagement. But right now we're talking about phones. You got to get this down, guys. You shouldn't have to think about this sales cycle. It should be internalized. It should be something you guys dream about at night and can say backwards.
Yeah, have it printed and put right next to you the phone.
Post it.
Yeah. So we will cut away that sales cycle again. We'll do some role plays. We'll help you with ideas to create your own scripts. That's coming. But we want to thank you for your time today. And hopefully we've given you some phenomenal thought starters and tips and techniques and things to immediately apply.
Yes. All right. We will see you guys next Wednesday. Same time, same channel. We really look forward to doing that. We're going to get even deeper into how to handle phone calls, incoming callers, and we know you guys are going to really benefit from what you gain. So thank you so much. We'll see you guys next Wednesday.
Yeah, we'll send you that recording tonight.
Yes. Have a wonderful week, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.